I think the Forbidden Catalyst season has been really good so far. I'll be completely honest. I think people have considered it hit and miss. Some people have called it as like slop, and other people have said it's really good. The community feels to be a little bit negative on it in general, if I'm being honest. But I've honestly found it to be a lot of fun in general. But I am kind of I don't mind playing the same thing over and over again. But I still wanted to go over how I think they can improve it for future seasons. Hopefully give them a little bit of feedback. Who knows? They probably, whoever they are, the developers, they'll probably never see any of my content, but still, I kind of want to put my ideas out there in the zeitgeist. We're going to go with the more superficial things first, and then we'll get to the things that I think are actually going to kind of substantially improve it. So very first, I actually think that they could buff the store a little bit. The store has some pretty reasonable stuff in here, and I will say it's awesome to get the dupe, right? I got that somewhere in here, right there. I feel like they could give 2 of the dupes over a season, right? A season is 9 weeks long, which is 63 days, and so over 2 months. I feel like if they gave 1 dupe a month, that wouldn't be crazy. I mean, I'll admit, it would be more generous than gotchas, and this is not my main criticism of it or anything like that, but I would like to see maybe 1 of the first supply, 1 of the third supply. And as far as getting stuff out of the store, I actually think it's a pretty reasonable store. Mostly what I think they need to buff is actually the currency. Like, there's still so much that I could spend and so much I could buy, and I feel like a lot of players want to clear these out in general, and it might be possible, it might not. I don't know how much you have to grind, but I've been doing my weekly progress every single week, right? I have cleared the Nebula distortion, all the bosses, all the way. I've even placed pretty well, top 10% in the Great Rift on my tries. And I still have to finish the story to get some, but overall, I feel like they could just buff the amount of stuff you're getting here in this system, because I want to be able to clear out the shop. I don't want to have to prioritize stuff. I want to have to prioritize stuff in the case that I'm not playing that much, right? Or that I'm not getting the weekly rewards, but I don't want to have to grind additionally beyond the weekly rewards to be able to clear out a shop. I think it's just kind of good etiquette to make it so we can. But as far as actually the number of rewards, I think they are pretty good. Again, I would like to see a second Omega code. I know some people think that's asking too much. I don't, all right? I think that's pretty fair. And hopefully they put 5 more pulls in as well. I like to see basically 10 pulls from an event shop, and this is 2 months of an event shop. So hopefully we get at least 5 more pulls. They don't have to be premium. They've already given us like 50 or 60 premium over the course of the weeks for this event. Off the Owen thing, right? So the regular ones I think are totally fine, but that would be the first thing that I would like to see buffed. Secondly, the Nebula distortion, it's cool and you only have to really do it once, but I cannot tell you how much of a bummer it is to get the same boss from the chaos that we're doing. You make us run 1 chaos for the entire week, you know, basically constantly for almost the entire season, because it actually takes quite a few runs to get the chaos done. And then for the Nebula boss, you have us do the same bosses. I mean, I understand the idea is because we're building characters and building teams that are good against these bosses, but for me, it was such a bummer. It was kind of boring, and I would like these bosses to be a reason to take other teams into chaos, right? Maybe I want to run a Magna team. You could still do that, of course, but it's like, if I'm trying to min-max the perfect team for these fights, then I don't really necessarily want to run different units, you know? So I would like to see either more bosses in general, these come out twice as much, or I would like to see 4 days remaining, or I would like to see just different bosses. Like, it was kind of cool to get the crab, because the crab was pretty different from a lot of the stuff we were doing. So it would be fun to see, even if they're not bosses from any chaos, they're just like buff bosses. They don't all need to be unique with mechanics, but if they're just like buff elite fights, or if they are bosses from other chaos, or maybe they're the weekly bosses that you can only challenge every week to get your whatever, you know, I forgot, the angel guy and the other guy, you know what I'm talking about. That would be fun. So that's the second one. And then third, and this is, I think, by far the biggest one, and really the reason I want to make this video, please further incorporate the zero system into the events. I really think that, like, I like that Laboratory Zero, they add Laboratory Zero, and maybe they even do a modifier where you get extra weekly progress. This is what I'm thinking they should do. when you click on this chaos button, it should open up basically Zero System. You should be able to kind of craft your maps, kind of like, you know, you do here, but you should be able to do any chaos in the game, any chaos that's currently in the game, and get the weekly progress complete. That way, even if you don't want to do the new one, you could still make your weekly progress. Now, I think that they could do it with the new chaos. They could easily make it like, oh, you get double weekly progress or whatever. Maybe you only get half weekly progress from other ones if they really want to incentivize people to try the new one. You could do all kinds of things that will incentivize people to try the new one. Maybe it's like for the first week, this is the only one you can do, and then the second week you add more chaos. You know, there's lots of different ways to do it, but I'm telling you, a lot of people don't even play enough to get this weekly progress done. I play the game a decent amount, and I get the weekly progress done basically over the course of like the week. Like it takes me almost the full week, and that's because I work a full-time job and I play other games also, right? So I know that I mean I play a decent amount, not as much as some players, but definitely more than some. So it's already kind of a big ask to get the weekly progress on this, in my opinion. And so for someone like me who's just clearing the weekly progress, I haven't even run another chaos in the last like 30 days. Not quite 30 days, but like 20 something days, right? Because I am just doing this. I don't want to miss out on the weekly progress, so I haven't done any of the codex runs. I haven't done anything else. I'm just getting to this weekly progress. And also because I want the seasonal event. Like I actually don't even know how this works. I don't know if I go into Zero System and I do this, if I get the seasonal decks. That I'm not even sure about. So I will say, if that is how it works, I also think that they should give it more, they should better articulate that so it's more clear. But yeah, I want to be able to click on the chaos and get the weekly progress on any difficulty setting. I just think that would be a lot more fun in general. As far as this, I actually think this is perfect. I think going up to level 130 is a very nice difficulty and kind of aspirational. A lot of people can clear it, but if you're a little bit more casual, or even if you're like me, you're not more casual, you're just maybe not that good, this is a very tough difficulty to clear consistently. I could clear it once, I'm pretty sure. If I do like 5 runs, I bet I can clear it once with like some good rolls. But like to beat it 5 out of 5 times, that would be pretty rough. Whereas 8 is almost automatic, not literally, but it is pretty darn easy. 9 is a pretty good challenge. Like I'm not guaranteed to win, but I'm still very likely to win. And then 10, it's just kind of like a nice gradient, right? And by the time we get up to 11, I plan on not winning, but I'm trying my best to win. Especially like I went in yesterday with like Magna, Luke, and Chorizo, and I just didn't do enough damage to the final boss. That was all there is to it. I didn't really get that many good rolls, but yeah. Overall, I honestly think this is a good season. To me, this feels like a beta season, though. It doesn't feel like something that's like, this is their true vision for the game. It feels like they're just putting some content out to keep us, you know, after the game's launched. So I would like to see slightly more transformative, but mostly just let us run a bunch of chaos. As far as like the seasonal cards and stuff, that's cool, but 9 weeks is a long time to ask players to run an individual chaos. So, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. And if I'm misinformed about something, maybe you are able to get the weekly progress by doing this. I mean, I haven't tried because it takes so much time, but I'm pretty sure you don't. But you know, you never know. Maybe I'm a big idiot and we'll take the video down. I don't think so though. Anyway, that's all for this one. I'm kind of curious. Will you let me know in the comments down below what you think they could do to make future seasons better? I have had fun, and I'm still having fun, honestly. The new characters and all the teams I want to try are just very fun in general. But I know some people are definitely getting tired of it. And even though I'm not, I still think they could do better in the future. That's all. And I want to hear how you think they could do better. Anyway, much love per platypuses, per ploutopus. I will see you on the flip flops. Bye.